All right. I was going through my old portfolios and cleaning everything out, and I kept some of the stuff. And that's what I'm going to show you, sort of a review of a couple of things I did in high school and some stuff I did in college. So here we go. I did this in high school. I kind of went, these little post-its are just covering my name or my initials or whatever. It's one of those, scratchy things. But I don't know what kind of paper this is, but I remember painting it with, it started off white, painting it with black ink, and then scratching it. So we kind of made our own scratchy paper, but yeah, just some roses. Got an A. Now this is going to show my age. I think, I'm not sure when this movie came out, but Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band came out with the Bee Gees in it. And I just decided to draw on the inside of my notebook the trumpet, because I had a little crush on the trumpet player in my band. So I was kind of into that, and I just sort of thought this was really cool. I just did it in pencil, and I saved it because I just thought it came out really cool. And this is another one. I did this with just crayon and like black marker or something. So that was like, I think that was on the front of the album cover maybe, back when we had albums. Okay, this was just one I did in pen and ink. I don't know why I did this, but I think I was just trying out the like the nib pen. I'd never used one, so I did that. And it was actually put into the school. It wasn't a newsletter, and it wasn't the yearbook. I don't know what it was. It was some sort of school publication, but I remember that was in there, so I thought that was kind of cool. All right, that's it from high school. No, I should have switched these. I did this one first. This was college. This was one of the first projects we did. I had to do a self-portrait. Kind of looks like me. And then we had to do a second one, and I'm not sure what, I think we had to define the values more in this one or something. I'm not sure. This one looks nothing like me. This one looks kind of like me. So that's that. That's just pencil. And then I spent my second year of college in England. And I did these two pictures, this one and this one. I was trying to get an independent study because I needed some more credits in order to keep my financial aid going or something like that. So my advisor, he was also my boss because I worked for him for work study, and my painting teacher, small school, and he said, okay, sit down in this room and draw this. So there was a piano in the room. I forgot. I remember where it was. I just don't know what kind of room it was. It was this old British style setup. Probably like a boarding school, probably previously. I don't know. Anyway, so I drew that piano. And then when I was at home, I rented a room in a house with somebody off campus, a family. And they had some instruments laying around. They had a tambourine, they had a guitar, and I don't know what kind of instrument this was. It was a stringed instrument, and I had my flute with me, so I drew that at home. And then the school said, no, you can't do an independent study. So I stopped that class, and I ended up taking a French class, which was awful because I hated it and did terrible in it. Okay, so then I did these two in pencil. Phil Collins, Paul McCartney, a big Beatles fan. Yeah, just pencil. I really like the way this one came out. Yeah, that. This was actually done before, but it became a series for me, so I kept them together. This was one of the first projects in one of my design classes, I guess, in my first year of college. And we had to take a portion of a photocopy that she had, and it was a guy's face, and I just really liked this section, so I did the eyes. And you had to use, I forget what it was, darks and lights or something, and then you had to do value for this one, and apparently I didn't do very well because I didn't really understand value. Still really, I don't know, kind of struggle with value, I guess. But anyway, I liked them so much that when I went back to school, I think this was after I did 2 years. I did a 2-year program for sign language interpreting, and I actually worked at that for a few years. And then I actually went back. I started working at libraries, and different libraries. I worked at a couple public libraries, and I worked at a college library. But in the meantime, I also went back and took some classes in illustration because I really liked it. So anyway, that's what this is. So I revisited this. This is contact paper on top of, it looks a little dirty now, but on top of an illustration board, and you just cut with an X-Acto knife. You cut out pieces and peel them off that you don't want. So that was that again. And then I did it again with white contact paper on black illustration board. So I did a regular one, and then I did an opposite of a regular. I don't know what I'm trying to say. And then I did another one. Paul McCartney. Still a McCartney fan. I really like how this came out. So that's black contact paper on white board. And this is also Paul McCartney. This was on an illustration board, but I just peeled it off because I was trying to get rid of all the heavy boards in my portfolio because they just weighed a ton. I never finished this. I was going to do 4 different ones, like age-wise, and that was him as a child, as a baby, and that was him as like a 20-year-old or something. I think it looks like gouache to me, but I know it wasn't gouache because I never heard of gouache at the time. It might have been tempera paint or some sort of thing like that. Looks the same. Okay. And this was an illustration class. We had to take an adult book and illustrate some pages. So we had to do 4. We had to do 4 different ones. You can see them all. And then we had to choose one to do as a big piece. So I did Ethan Frome was the book I chose. And this is done with, it looks like watercolor pencil and technical pens, back before microns. Thing was, I just lacked any kind of imagination whatsoever, so I watched the movie, Ethan Frome, and sort of stole those for my illustrations. Hopefully she never knew. I think I got an A on this, so she probably never knew. But yeah, I ended up choosing this one, and so that was my final. So I think this came out really cool. It was a lot of work with the technical pens, but it ended up with looking really kind of cool, I thought. So that was that. And this was the college, like, I don't know, arts newsletter-y type thing. It's just full of poems and stories and pictures and stuff, but I managed to squeeze in there the very last page. I forgot to cover that part up, but anyway, that was my contact paper project that I did. So there's that. This was supposed to be a self-portrait using an article of clothing, which I thought was kind of odd. If you want to see up close, it's stipple, so it's every single like little dot was done by like that. So I thought it came out really cool. It did take forever to do, but it was a glove. I'm not sure why I picked it. I think because this was already past the point where I had done sign language, so I think I put a lot of emphasis on my hands because I had to use my hands to do it. And I wore these pair of gloves every single day. They were these like blue feltish kind of gloves, and I just liked them. I just always wore them. Yeah, well, there was that. This was, it was a self-portrait, and you had to divide it up into, I think, 8 different sections. and used different media in each one. This one came out the best, I think. I'm not even sure what that is. Might be like liquid, it's either liquid watercolor or liquid acrylic, probably liquid acrylic. So I did pencil, I did colored pencil, watercolor pencil, and I think I did watercolor pencil again, but I didn't activate it. Pen and ink, it was collage, pastel maybe, I don't know. And then these other things were just to add balance to it, I guess. And this was supposed to be a travel poster for, I don't know how much of this you can see, some place that was real or imagined, and you had to use only icons. So I used the clouds, I used gates, and sort of the iconic sort of shape, so you'd think it was an angel. So, and I used nice gold ink of some kind. I think that came out really well. So I did all that by hand. All right. This was like a metamorphosis kind of project. You had to do one thing that changed into another. So I just did a shoelace turning into a snake. And this was, this looks like colored pencil. This is probably, I don't know, liquid acrylic or liquid watercolor, and then the technical pens again. That. This was one of a whole bunch. This was the only one I kept. I think we had to do 5 of them. You had to take a word and turn it into something visual, like trying to think of some of the other ones I did. I did like one, it was smile. The word was smile, so I did a face, and I had her smiling, and I had like S-M-I-L-E in her mouth as she was smiling. You know, that kind of stupid thing. This is the only one I saved because, I don't know, I thought it looked kind of cool. So the word was hands, so H-A-N-D-S. So that was that. This was, we were supposed to do a cover of, it was an insert for a newspaper, like the calendar section, you know, what's going on in the area. So we had to just do a cover. We had to come up with a cover, so I just did that. I'm surprised at how good my lettering was. Yeah, so this looks like maybe liquid watercolor, maybe an ink or something. Not sure. And there was, we had to do a children's book, cover and pages. So this I did alphabet signs, just the hands in different letter shapes. And then the page was a 2-page spread we had to do. I know this is really odd and nobody understood it, but I thought it was interesting. So I did the alphabet across the front, across the top, and then I did it backwards across the bottom. I don't know how much of this you can see. I put the camera up to see if you could see more. And so the letter that's missing here is an F, and this is the F for fish. And then down here, the letter that's missing is G. So it would be G for grape. And this looks like colored pencil, watercolor pencil maybe. This is watercolor pencil. Yeah, I was really into that watercolor pencil thing. And I think that's it for school, but I just wanted to add these. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, it's a difficult situation. So I worked at libraries in between the job that I ended up staying with for over 20 years, and then after the sign language thing. So anyway, I did a couple of murals. So I was working in a library, and the director at the time said, "Oh, do you want to paint a mural?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I did this mural. I don't know how much you can see of it because it's very light. So in the children's area, so I did a big tree, and I did all kinds of little animals. I did a bear and a squirrel, raccoon, possum, little, I don't know what kind of bird that was, bees, stuff like that. So I did that. And then I ended up doing 3 more. I did In the girls' bathroom, I did an elephant, a lion. And in the boys' bathroom, I did a underwater kind of thing. It was like an octopus and a whale and a big clam and some fish. I did that in there. And then I ended up doing this one, which is from a book. I can't think of what it's called. But that was the picture I did, and that was straight from the book. And I did that from the other entrance from the bottom floor if you went into the children's room. It was, I forget the book's name. Yeah, okay, Murph. Anyway, so I did that, but I don't have any pictures of it. And now the library's gone. I mean, the library's still there, but they knocked the building down and there's a new building. So the mural is no more. The murals are no more. So what I'm going to do is try to stick in what I have. I have some photographs, actual photographs of the first 3 murals I told you about, but this bottom one, I know I have pictures someplace, but I just, I don't know where they are. I looked through the photos I kept, but I'm not sure where they are. So anyway, so following this, I'll just do a little narration maybe, I don't know, and try to stick in some weird pictures of something. So anyway, so I'll do that now. All right, this is the tree that I did with all the sort of woodland animals. This is the girls' bathroom. I did the sort of African type animals, I guess. I'm not sure. And then the one in the boys' bathroom was underwater. Whales and dolphins and all that stuff. So anyway, hope this was enjoyable. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.